morning, everybody.
Welcome to UCM.
We are students conducting a food demo on a gluten-free meal.
First, we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm Nicole Adams.
Melissa Schrader.
Mary Smith.
Laura Bro.
We are going to teach you how to make a gluten-free meal that is under $10. We are making a tomato basil soup, a herb chicken breast with potatoes, green beans, and red onions, and then we are also having a gluten-free chocolate layer bars. With that said, Laura will start the tomato basil soup.
All right, my ingredients, I have 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 5 cloves of garlic chopped, I have a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a 29-ounce can of tomato puree, 2 5.5 ounces of V8 juice. I also have a teaspoon of basil and 3 tablespoons of sugar. What I'm going to start off with is the oil, the garlic, and the red pepper flakes. And I'm going to cook that until the garlic starts to turn brown. You want to keep stirring so it doesn't stick to the pan and burn. Now I'm going to add my tomato puree. I reduce the heat so it doesn't start splattering. Both my cans of V8 juice. My basil and my sugar. And I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to put the top on so it doesn't squirt everywhere. And it should be ready in about 10 minutes.
Now we're going to get started on the herb chicken breast. First, you need to mix together all your seasonings, which we have sage, thyme, and rosemary. So you just add them all in a bowl. And then just a little bit of rosemary in with it. And then you add a teaspoon of olive oil and minced garlic. And then you mix all that together. And you season your chicken. Use 1 chicken breast. Just get enough to season it all evenly. And then because I'm sauteing raw chicken, I need to go wash my hands really quick. And then you need to season your green beans and your onions, which we cut up into 8 wedges. And then you also need to cut up your potato. And you want them to be roughly about the same size so that they all cook evenly. And then toss them in with these. And just toss them all around in the leftover herb spices. Throw it in with the chicken. Add 2 garlic cloves, and then it's ready to be cooked and put in the oven at 375, and it'll cook for about 35-40 minutes.
This has got 6 simple ingredients in it. We've got coconut, chocolate chips, butterscotch chocolate chips, peanuts, and almonds, and then your sweetened condensed milk. So first I'm going to take my coconut and spread a thin layer on the bottom of my pan, leaving enough to sprinkle a little bit on top once I put in the rest of my ingredients. So that was 1/4 of a cup of coconut. I've got 1/4 of a cup of butterscotch chocolate chips. I'm going to add to 1/2 a cup of peanuts. And then with my chocolate chips, it's also 1/4 of a cup that I'm going to add. Mix all those ingredients together. And then put over the coconut. And I have 2 tablespoons of almonds that are chopped. Sprinkle those over. And then my sweetened condensed milk is 1/4 of a cup. And what that is going to do after I sprinkle it all over my pan, when it bakes, it's going to form a little thin crust with the coconut, and it'll harden. So similar dessert like this is with graham crackers, but since this is a gluten-free meal, we are not using graham crackers. So the coconut on the bottom is the substitute. And then we're going to take the coconut on top, lightly sprinkle it over the whole thing. Then we're going to put this in the oven for 20 minutes and let it bake.
All right, our soup looks like it's about done. If you want a creamier version of this tomato soup, you can add a 1/4 of a cup of sour cream or yogurt. It makes it nice and creamy and delicious, unless you're on a budget. And if you want, you can sprinkle it with cheese. And there's your tomato soup.
After your 20 minutes is up, you'll notice that the coconut, and you can smell the nuts in the milk cooking, and you'll see it's a crispy golden brown color. Very tasty.
But it'd be better with some cheese on it, but it's really good.
And with the chicken, you want to make sure that it is 165 degrees internally, and if you don't have a meat thermometer, you can check it by cutting it open and making sure there's no pink inside. And then for the potatoes, you want to just make sure the fork can pierce the potatoes pretty good. All right, and to try the potatoes. Good. We have our tomato basil soup, our herb chicken breast with red onions, red potatoes, and green beans, and then our chocolate layer bars, and served with a glass of milk.